Hello everyone, welcome to our second presentation of criticism of the plastic sushi poster presentation. We are group 6, and this one is also based on the health and environment on the DSKB. So first thing first, let me introduce myself and my group members. I am Ma Jingru, and we also have Tan Xinyu, Tianbu Wen, and Xiaoxin in my group. So this analysis focuses on print advertisement created by the Surfrider Foundation. The core theme of the advertisement is health and environment, highlighting the close connection between environmental issues and human well-being. More specifically, the advertisement addresses the problem of marine plastic pollution and how it enters the human food chain, posing serious risks to public health. In terms of visual strategy, the advertisement uses the familiar and appealing imagery of sushi by presenting plastic waste in the form of sushi ingredients. The advertisement effectively bridges the gap between the abstract concept of ocean pollution and the everyday reality of human consumption. This visual metaphor encourages viewers to realize that plastic pollution is not a distant environmental issue, but something that can directly affect what we eat and ultimately our health. So this lesson is designed within a pedagogical framework of a Form 1 ESL classroom with a focus on developing students' reading skills. It is aligned with Content Standard 3.1, which aims to help students understand the main idea in a variety of test types. To achieve this goal, several key learning standards are addressed. First, Learning Standard 3.1.1 focuses on helping students understand the main points in simple learned tests. This encourages students to identify overall meaning rather than focus only one individual work. Next, 3.1.2 emphasizes understanding specific details across different text types, allowing students to extract important information. And 3.1.3 supports vocabulary development by guiding students to guess the meaning of unfamiliar words using contextual clues. Finally, Learning Standard 3.1.4 encourages students to use familiar print and digital resources with some support to check meaning and confirm understanding. Together, these standards promote a balanced approach to reading comprehension, combining global understanding, detailed analysis, and independent learning strategies.
I will talk about the strengths of the poster's content. Firstly, the message is very clear. The slogan, "What goes in the ocean goes in you," directly connects marine pollution with human health, making the environmental issue personal and relatable. The clarity helps students easily identify the main idea, which aligns well with the content standard 3.1.1. Secondly, the poster creates a strong visual textual link. By using sushi, a familiar food, it successfully connects a large-scale environmental problem to everyday human consumption. Students can also extract specific details from both the image and the caption, supporting standard 3.1.2 and making it suitable for English as second language reading practice. However, this slide focuses on limitation of the content. One major issue is cognitive overload. The sudden shift from emotional imagery to heavy statistics, such as the amount of plastic waste, breaks the narrative flow and may confuse students. In addition, while the poster highlights the problem clearly, it does not offer any solution or behavioral guidance, which creates a cognitive gap. Lastly, the use of sushi as a metaphor may reduce accessibility for audience who are unfamiliar with this food, limiting its impact across different cultural contexts. Overall, while the content is powerful, this weakness slightly reduces its effectiveness as a teaching and persuasive tool.
Now let's dive into the heart of our literary analysis. To understand why this poster is so striking, we must look at the literary elements it employs to capture attention. First, the most potent element here is situational irony. Think about the irony of plastic. A material invented for our clean limes and coffins has now returned as a source of fees and disease in our favorite food. This is not just a mistake, it functions as a form of ecological retribution. Nature is no longer a passive victim, but an agent of moral consequence. Second, we see a powerful visual metaphor. The plastic bag is not just trash, it's a metaphor for the toxic ingredient we are injecting into the world. By replacing fish and nori with plastic, the ad effectively relabels our sustenance as waste. Finally, the headline uses parallelism. What goes in the ocean goes in you. Use a rhythmic, balanced structure. This balance creates a sense of cosmic justice and inevitability, making environmental consequence feel as certain as a mathematical equation. However, from an artistic depth perspective, there are several literary flaws to criticize. First is literalism. High-level literature thrives on ambiguity, but this poster is too on the nose. By physically wrapping plastic around rice, it leaves no room for imagination, making the artistic expression feel somewhat shallow. Second is the absence of character aging. There are no people, no dinner, and no emotions in the frame. Without a protagonist, it's difficult for the audience to feel the pathos, the pity and fear. That is essential to tragic literature. Furthermore, it lacks a temporal dimension. The image is frozen in a single moment, missing the narrative progression or plot that leads from cause to effect. Finally, the didactic tone. The bottom text acts like a manual, over-explaining the visual. This this practice robs the audience of the joy of self-discovery and weakens the artistic integrity of the piece.
Hello everyone, I'm Tianbu Wen. I will introduce the part is recommendation for improvement with aesthetic web sushi rule. We propose several recommendations to enhance its relative and emotional impact. First, the video could introduce a clear protagonist, such as a scratch or a child hand reaching for the sushi, to symbol the innocence and treat to life, allowing the audience to form the stronger emotional connection. Second, the irony could be enhanced by adapting a more literal tone in copy. For example, the line "The ocean return your gift," which highlights the bleak irony of Pacific West, return to humans through food. Third, the plot progression could be developed by showing the sushi gradually become semi-transparent, revealing internal plastic fragments, and treating a moment of terrifying discovery. Finally, instead of relying on complex data, the video could provide the lateral catharsis through a compassionate ending, enable the audience to transform the pieces, the vitamin into the response regarding of the environment. In conclusion, the advertisement successfully used irony, metaphor, and parallelism for this environment message. While it doesn't have a clear main character, it is still a useful text for from one CEFR reading skills practice. It is a good tool for combining the visual appreciation with reading comprehension. Main idea, detail, and reference. With its strong value, symbol, and the clear theme, the video helps the student understand the deeper meaning and improve the reading skills, while also thinking about an important real-world environment problem. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.